Hello, this is Tanya, and I am going to just kick you guys off using a video. I will work my way around to all of your groups, but I don't want you to have to wait for me to get started. So this is work time for content, and we are going to be working on digital content to follow up with what Tom or Marie talked about in your sessions. And as we get started, I wanted to share again this little video evolution of a desk. So if we start at the beginning, and that was 2014. 2014. We're 3 years beyond this, and all that he's got left is his phone, his computer, and his sunglasses. Now I'm a little concerned that his car keys went away, but let's take a look at what this means for today's students. I'm going to introduce you quickly to Eli. Eli is a fourth grader. He happens to be my fourth grader. And he has an iPad this year. This is the first year that fourth graders have had iPads in the district, but he works in a building that's fairly progressive, and so he had access to Schoology last year and started to use it last year. So last year when he got Schoology, one Sunday morning as I'm sitting there grading, he decides that I'm not paying enough attention to him and ends up Schoology messaging me that he wanted me to make him milk, which at our house actually means that he needs me to make him a nutritional formula that he uses for most of his nutrition. But the fact that I hadn't taught him how to use the Schoology Messenger, he just figured it out on his own. So I went in tonight and I took a look at what he's been turning in Schoology, and he's turned in a wide variety of things the last 2 weeks, most of which are PDFs. And so then I asked him, tell me about how you did this assignment in Schoology. And I think his answer spoke volumes because he looked at me and he said, I use Notability for that. Do you know how to use Notability? And so my 10-year-old is already using these tools and he's submitting assignments with them. Our students are going to have iPads going forward, and every year we get a new batch of students, they will have had the iPad for a year longer than the students before them. And so some of your students this year have had them for 3 years, some of them for 2 years. But moving forward, it's going to be 3 and 4 years, and then it's going to be 4 and 5 years. And they're going to have been using these tools. They're going to have been using Google Drive, Schoology, Notability, and Docs going forward. They're also going to have been going out and finding their own research and finding their own sources. And they're also going to have a wider variety of resources that have been curated for them. And really, curation of these resources is time consuming. And so that is the focus of your digital time together, is to curate the resources, to create the Schoology items that you're going to serve with to your children. And when we say Schoology, it doesn't mean everything the students do is done in Schoology. It just means everything eventually finds its home back to Schoology. So when the student is looking for something, they go to Schoology, they're submitting and opening in Schoology, but it may take them someplace else out in the web. It doesn't mean that you only can do quizzes in Schoology or you can only use PDFs that are imported into Schoology. The whole internet is open to you, but bring those links back, bring those things back to Schoology so that your students have one place to go for them. There are so many apps and websites available to your students. MIT is putting all of their information out for student and teacher consumption. Minnesota Curriculum Consortium is creating things. And then all of these different apps and websites can be utilized for learning. Somebody has broken these down into the SAMR model. It doesn't mean that that's the only place they could fit, but it means that the way they get used most often, Evernote is an augmentation. It's not redefining education, but you can use these in different ways to enhance the education. So that brings us to our work time, which is to work on the reporting standard that you've already chosen with a grade-alike partner that you've already signed up with. If you haven't done those parts, you're going to do those parts now. Then you're going to create digital resources to share among your team and across the district that dive a little bit deeper into SAMR. so that you can move from either no tech to substitution, substitution into augmentation. Augmentation can start to look at modification or redefinition. Not everything is going to work at every level. Sometimes the way that works best um, might be no tech, but maybe there's still a way for them to share that assignment with you using the tech, or maybe there's a way to share it with their other classmates using the tech, and that would be augmentation if you did that. So create those works, put them in the Schoology group, and then submit me a screenshot, or if you're on the computer, use the snipping tool to cut me out a screenshot of the things that have been added, and you're going to submit that to the assignment content work time. If you don't know how to do that submittal, you can ask me or Marie or Tom or the other people that you work with in your group, and use your coworkers as resources. Many of our science teachers have taken the dive in and are using Schoology on a regular basis. Some of us have not taken much of a dive in yet, and that's okay. This is our chance to take that first step. And if you're no tech, move to substitution. You get the rest of the time today to work, and I will be around. Find me if you have questions. Thanks.